today's tutorial we're going to learn how to make this prop. This is a creepy girl inspired by Samara, which is the girl from the movie The Ring. So we'll learn to make this from very cheap and easy to find materials. And we'll also set up a motion sensor trigger so that we can hide her in a dark corner. And then when you walk by, the lights come on and you look and you see her, and hopefully that'll scare you. This can be used indoor or outdoors. I'll be using it probably outdoors as you walk towards my house to ask for candy, and it'll be in a dark corner between two bushes, and as you walk by you will trigger the motion sensor, lights come on, and there she is, welcoming you to my house and daring you to keep going. For today's project, our materials are the following. For the frame, we're going to use a 1/2-inch PVC. I'm using the light kind because this is not a prop that moves or requires too much weight bearing. Then some fittings, PVC fittings for the frame, a couple hands. You can be as realistic as you want or as fake as you want. This prop is going to be about 10 feet away from the trick-or-treater, so it doesn't have to be too detailed. Now we're going to corpse them anyway. We're going to need a pool noodle for the frame, some pajamas. Let's see, we need a wig head for the girl's head, and a wig. Then for the effect, where the lights come on when you walk by her, we need a motion sensor, a strobe light, and an extension cord that you're going to hack into in order to get the motion sensor to work. So let's start cutting this PVC and start with our first step. And by the way, the materials, all the list of materials, you don't need to write this down. If you go to the bottom of this video, in the description, there'll be a link to the show notes, and the show notes has all the steps, has the list of all the materials, and it'll tell you exactly how many of these, how many of these, how many feet. It'll also tell you how long to cut each piece of PVC. And if you don't have any of these materials, there's links there where you can go to Amazon or different places where I found the same exact things that I'm using here, so you can buy them for yourself. So let's go cut this stuff. So this is supposed to be a 12-year-old girl, similar to the girl from The Ring, Samara. So my 12-year-old is what I used to measure. So I had the measurements here for shoulders, neck, torso, hips, legs, and then like shoulder to elbow, because we're going to attach some hands at the end. So I'm going to cut this right now with my, I think this is a metal pipe cutter, but it will work with my PVC. So I'm going to cut these pieces. Again, the measurements, I'm going to put them here on the screen somewhere at some point, and also at the website. So I'm going to start cutting, and then we'll start assembling this. I finished cutting the pipe according to the measurements. So now we're going to assemble the frame for the girl. It's going to be something like shoulders, torso, hips, and legs. Right, so I'm going to cut this in half, and then I'm going to make the arms too, and we'll put this together. Now that we have the whole structure put together, the frame, we're going to make some shoulders with the noodle across this pipe, and then a couple more for the arms. So I'm going to cut those to size, and I'll show you how I fit them. I took this piece of foam and I sliced it, and we're going to fit that over the shoulders and then make a hole here for the neck. I'm going to take a little bit of this chicken wire, chicken fencing, and make a little piece for around the waist so that we can bulk her up a little bit. I'm giving this just the shape of a torso. That's going to go like this. I'm going to attach it with some zip ties. These. I'm going to attach it here, 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 and then we'll put the hips right here and make this flare out a bit. And this will give it the bulk we need so when we put the pajamas on, it looks like a real girl. Now that we have the structure done, bulked up, everything, arms, shoulders, chest, I'm gonna go and paint this black with just black latex, and then I'm gonna maybe dry brush a little bit of gray. You're not gonna see this head because it's gonna be covered with hair on the front. So I'm gonna go paint this. Then we can finish putting her together at the hands, the pajamas. We'll see what she looks like. Okay, the next step is to put the nightgown on the frame, and then we're going to attach these hands just with a little bit of duct tape. I'm putting the nightgown first because when I put the hands, it's going to be very hard to get the nightgown on. So I'm going to put the nightgown, secure it where it needs to go, and then we're going to add the hands. I am not going to worry too much about this gap right here because the hair is going to be covering that. Okay, the head is now dry. I painted it black. I'm going to place it on the dummy, and we're going to put the wig on top and see if we need to touch it up with a little bit of gray or if the black is enough. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to secure it with some with my glue gun and maybe a little tape, duct tape, to just join the shoulders to the neck to keep the head in. I like it tilted forward. So let's do that and then get the wig and see how this turns out. Alright, we attached the head and I added some duct tape to the neck and around the neck just to blend it in a little bit and to make sure that it stays. So I put hot glue in the head, placed it on top, and then put the duct tape on the front. Now let's put some hair on my wig. Let's see what we can do. To make sure that we don't see the face, I'm going to do the effect by doing the wig backwards. There you have it. Prop is now complete with the hair really creepy. I want this strobe light, which is connected, is plug-in, not battery operated. I want that to flash when people get close to my prop. Not to flash all the time and not turn it on manually, but instead I'll be waiting inside, and as people walk towards the house, it can flash at whatever is hidden in the dark. It could be any sort of prop. Also, it doesn't have to be a strobe light. It could be anything that is plug-in that you can turn on and off. So for that, we'll need is a replacement head for a motion sensing light, like that. All you need is a replacement motion sensor. You don't need the whole light. Some wire nuts and extension cord. Just a simple extension cord. This one that I got has 3 wires, which means that it doesn't have a ground wire. So I don't recommend doing this one for an outdoor prop. This I will use inside to trigger some of my props inside because it doesn't have the ground wire. So I'm also using an extension cord that doesn't have that 3rd prong. It's an indoor extension cord. So let's get started. The first thing I've done is I've cut the extension cord in 2 parts. I cut it right down the middle so I'll have equal lengths on both sides. The side that goes to where you plug your strobe or the thing you want to activate, and some cord on the other side to plug it onto the wall or to another extension cord. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 3 wires off of here. We're going to take the white one and we're going to put it with 2 of the wires in the extension cord. So we're getting all the white ones together. We're just going to twist these and use a wire nut to secure it. Then we're going to take 1 wire with 1 loose end. We're going to twist these and put a wire nut, and then the black wire with the last wire. Okay, I'm gonna go get some electrical tape and tape these because I don't want any pet or child having access to the wires. So I'm going to wrap these up and I'm going to make it nice and neat and wrap it all together. Now if you want this to be an outdoor motion sensor setup, find the one that has the extra green lead coming out that is the ground, and then you can use one of those orange outdoor extension cords. But what you'll do is you'll take the green, both greens from the extension cord and the green from the motion sensor, and everything will be grounded and it will be safe. Just make sure that it's watertight and that it's maybe in a gang box. This one is going to be hidden inside my house, so I don't need the gang box, but I'm going to make sure to tape these. So once I have these taped, then we'll go and set up the whole prop. We'll put the prop up, we'll put the motion sensor, and we'll see how it works. Okay, so here we are. I have plugged that. I'm not trying to move too much because it's a motion sensor. I plugged that strobe light to the setup we just did to test it. I'm going to show you how it works. So motion walks by and the light goes off. As you noticed, it only lasted for a little while. That's because I put it on our test setting. So down here, make sure it has a test setting because it'll do it for 5 seconds, 4 seconds, or 6 seconds, depending on the brand that you get. There's also a sensitivity to make sure that it doesn't get tripped by every mosquito that flies by. And some of them have a dual bright. And if it has the dual bright, make sure you can turn it off. This one you can turn off, so dual bright is off. And it's on test. So as soon as I walk by it, there goes the prop. And this is going to be used to illuminate the prop that is going to be hidden in the corner. And hopefully scare the you-know-what out of my family and the visitors to my house. So there you have it. That's our tutorial for today. We learned how to make the little girl really scary. We learned how to make a motion sensor, a motion activated prop trigger that triggers the strobe that will create the scare. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up all the way, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. And don't forget to go to my website, to monstertutorials.com/girl1, and it'll have the list of materials for the PVC, tell you how long, how many pieces to cut, how many fittings, what type, and if you cannot find it locally, it even has links where you can buy all the stuff, all the way from the PVC to the black wig, to the motion sensor unit, to the strobe light. The whole list is there, all the show notes, and you don't have to remember that website because it's below the description of this video. The website is right there where you can click on it and go straight to the materials list. Oh, and don't forget to like it. We're good.